Hello everybody, and I'm going to record my reaction
I'm driving.
to a game that I played
We're
in the
putting in some
qualifiers.
bad
Again,
commitment.
I'm
Here's
trying to see their reaction. You know, they wished me good luck in the game. It did not
spectating in
work.
that Magnet Man's game earlier.
It was
Ignore
humiliating,
them,
so we're not
ignore them.
also going to look at her spectating my game, as that was a
He
horrible
said, I was watching your stream.
pairing.
I will send a
So
super
I played the
thanks.
Scandinavian
Alright, first take
defense.
is Scandi. We'll go knight c3.
This
Bishop
was
here.
normal, but I think I played the wrong move order in the opening.
Play
I
d4, just get some
Usually my
space.
opponents attacked my queen first,
Plus
so that
castle.
move order kind of drew me off.
Go
I
for
was very
d4, just
aggressive.
give ourselves some space here.
Rookie one,
Or play
yeah.
h3 and
I do like
we always want to
I
have the
do
best
like the
pawn on
fishing pole
f1
trap, so it was a
some
bit
breathing room.
disappointing to see them so immediately
Okay,
just
so we can go
nip
knight
that
c4
possibility in the
here.
bud.
Just attack the queen.
Oh, somebody was looking at my
Okay, so the
elo.
queen goes over here.
Wait, what does that say? 1737. So does this show like my top ratings for each thing? Yeah, it'd be 1905.
Just
Best
attack
Puzzle
the queen.
Rush 42. Yeah,
Okay, so the queen goes over here.
that's actually interesting that there's a bot to check
Let's
that.
push, see what he does.
Yeah, here you pretty much just have to take. I'm pretty sure that's what I did in the game. But
We'll go here.
okay, let's see here. I won't say the. Okay, this guy is definitely a patzer, somebody says in their chat. My face is probably covering the chat, but I don't know
Push here
what they
now.
mean by
I
that.
guess maybe he's gonna play this.
Is that actually...
That's what I'm expecting of him.
Taking it there just seemed kind of crazy.
Okay,
Wait,
if we take with bishop
that's an
here,
interesting
we take
sacrificial
here,
idea, but I don't think it works.
threatening the queen, and threatening
I'll
this
have to check
bishop.
later on my own time. But that knight move did
Now
not
he
occur
also
to me
may
at
have
all.
knight takes in this. I like knight takes. Let's just go for it. Keep it simple. May I ask a personal question? Yes, you may. Is it about me being
So yeah,
smart?
this position was a bit uncomfortable because castling queenside here is obviously more risky.
Let's go.
So yeah, I went there and I was hoping they would think about the sacrifice, but I thought after like a
We
simple
don't really want
move,
to
just
sacrifice here.
blocking,
That's
it does. There's nothing there, in my opinion,
omelette du fromage.
because you know
Did that convince you
we
guys
can
that
block
that
with the
was right?
bishop at the end, and even if you couldn't, I'm not sure there'd be anything
Okay, here,
immediate there.
here takes.
But it's also the king gets a free square, and the rook would be undefended, so you don't have time for like queen f3. But I don't know. I just didn't foresee a
Here
sacrifice working.
takes.
However, I also know, just from
Bishop over
experience, that
here.
sometimes whenever these high-rated players play a low-rated player, they will go for a crazy imbalance like that and just kinda hope that in the craziness of the position, they'll be the one who finds the tactics better. Now that move I actually thought was very good.
Maybe this.
That move that she just hovered over. Bishop g5, because it prevents castling. It prevents castling, and like, no, you can't really go
Bishop's not
f6,
winning
so...
because we've got this pin. Do you ever say oh to this when it's a bad game? I will never curse. Okay, we'll go bishop
That's
back
good.
here. Maybe. Yeah, let's go bishop
Yeah,
back
yeah,
here.
Harry the H-pawn is not long for this world, unfortunately.
I like when my opponent's castle queenside because that means it's time to attack.
Castling queenside, it does kind of signal that there is going to be a winner of the game if there's opposite side castling. Here I was not too happy with my position because it just kind of
I've also
looks
got ideas of bishop,
far more
this
unpleasant.
bishop coming around here. Doing some stuff here. Oh, wait, what's your question? Wait. If you were to get a guard snake for your home, would you choose a constrictor or something venomous? I
I
didn't dream about snakes last night. I didn't dream about a
I
tiny
wouldn't
little snake,
choose
and it was very
any
strong.
snake.
And it wrapped it, and I actually had
Maybe
a
a toy
pet
snake.
snake. Like, I literally had a pet snake in my dream. It was my pet snake, and it wrapped itself around my finger, and then it was like being so
That's kind
silly.
of scary.
It was being
But
so
I think they're from
silly.
Australians.
It kept
From
like
Australia, so
squishing my finger
they're
until I
probably
was
used
trying
to
to
horrible
stop it, and
beasts.
then it turned into like jelly,
That's
like
stereotyping,
jelly
I'm
glue,
sorry.
and I was like trying to pull the snake, but it kept like stretching, and I was like, "Get off of me, you snake!"
Yeah.
And that was about it. Okay.
Yeah, so I just clamped down here
Okay.
because I
So
saw that bishop wraparound I did, and
where is this going here?
I didn't
Where's
want
the
him
plan?
to I didn't want them to go here, here,
What's
here,
the plan?
because I thought that would be very annoying, and my
Okay, I
king
want
would
to go
feel very
here
caged
and then
in.
here.
So in an indirect way, it's trying to
So maybe you just start
protect
pushing our
my
pawns.
king.
Or maybe we go here. Alright. I don't know. That was like the worst move.
I think it's an okay move.
I don't know what to do.
It just
God,
doesn't threaten
what's the
much.
plan? I'm not sure why I played C3.
I feel like it's a bit slow.
Not good. But that's okay. You're having a craving for gummy worms? That's a possibility. That is a
Yeah, so I develop my bishop, connect my rooks.
possibility.
Yeah, here they're attacking the
Okay, so
a7
bring our
pawn.
bishop out.
I think maybe I want
Happy
king
the sun is
b8
learning how to
here. I
read.
don't
Hey,
remember.
thank you, Abdul. Welcome in. Good to see you. It's a natural move to play. Yeah, I know, but it was just like, isn't that good? Is it really that good?
It seems like a very lazy move, but also okay. Here I get this check, which I was actually surprised that they
I'm not sure if I like that move.
allowed, but I was even more surprised that they moved their king to f1, because I feel like it's actually more natural here to go king h1,
Okay, so we
and I
gotta
thought
start pushing
after
our
king
pawns.
h1 my position was very bad and was going to be falling apart relatively soon, just not on material, but just a positional disadvantage.
Takes. Rook here. Got a huge attack. Huge attack. He is
Yeah.
Magnet Man. Rocket Man.
So they're
Magnet
referencing
Man.
a
They're
song.
such good friends.
So yeah, here I try to get a little bit tricky. I'm eyeing that c4 square. Because I made an interesting observation that I had completely used incorrectly. And we'll get to that point soon. Black, please take the 2 pawns. Taking the 2 pawns, somebody says in the chat, but it seems like
Just take all the 2 pawns, yes. Take all the
it
pieces.
seems very risky giving them the
Actually,
open
no,
files
take
for
all
the
the
rooks.
pieces. Never mind. Do not take all the
I'd love
pieces.
to take
Do
all her
not
pieces.
take all the pieces. I never said anything about taking the pieces. If
You didn't give me the opportunity though, but I would have happily obliged. If you want to play giveaway, I'm not going to complain. Okay, so I played this move. I don't actually remember my rationale for it. I think there was some ideas of trying to suffocate the bishop at some point with like
So we can go here and lose our beloved bishop pair.
with like oh yeah, I also had some ideas of taking the bishop, but I don't think that I really thought too hard about taking the bishop.
And hold on to our beloved bishop pair, but then
bishop b1, if that was the right move, like I'd be like, what are you, stockfish? Because bishop b1 looks like a horrible move, frankly. So I've noticed that they keep on pre-moving these traits, but traits weren't exactly on my mind. But I didn't want the bishop pair.
okay, I
Because I still have a bishop of my own, so it's not like I'm
Ah,
just getting crushed slowly in a 2 knights position. Yeah, okay, the move that she was thinking of was this, and I sort of had the idea that if this bishop got kicked away, sadly, I think whenever I played this, I might have hallucinated that the bishop could just go back and imagine a future where it goes forward. But yeah, the white king's actually pretty trapped here, and therefore, if this bishop just like magically was off the board, then this check would actually win the queen. It wouldn't be mate because the queen was there, but it would win the queen.
go there. This is a threat.
Yeah, so that was a threat. However, I misappropriately used that threat, and in a
Okay,
way that's actually bad. Yeah, so I feel like the the computer basically said that white was never bad here.
these games are very hard. Magnet Man is magneting everywhere. Doing so many magnet things. Okay, I thought this just won.
I don't think that wins. I think
Ah,
that
but he didn't play it.
wait, actually, did that win? I don't recall a moment of being better. But actually, what do you do after that move?
Let's maybe go here.
We'll have to look at the game analysis after, because actually, I mean, the idea
Did I dodge
seems
that bullet? Did I dodge it?
seems very
Did
smart.
I actually dodge it? Or did I just...
Even now, F4 kind of looks appealing because you're renewing the threat. Okay, here I made a game losing blunder, and they did not see the win here, and neither did I. So I basically logicked myself into thinking, oh, I can go here because the threat is if they take the rook, then I get this check now, and then I get the queen. However, I miss a very important detail, and so did they. We both overlooked this, which actually I'm kind of surprised that she did. But after takes, there's the knight check. You lose the queen, I take the queen. But at the end of the line, her bishop is here, so you take the queen, and not only do you take the queen, you take it with check. So there's no funny in-between moves for me.
Okay, let's go here.
So he could, so they could
This
have just
bishop
took
is
the
going to
rook.
be very annoying. I kind of wish I went king
Yeah,
h1 instead.
yeah, king h1 would have been far more natural.
Annoyingly... Very annoying bishop. Okay, so now he trades off everything, so... Now everything's a little bit less annoying. This hog.
Yeah, we traded off everything, and they were just a little
Okay.
bit better by
So
position
we do
because
have the bishop
my
pair.
pawns are just so
The
scattered.
bishop pair
Like the
is...
e pawn's a weakness, the g pawn's a weakness.
I
In the
love
long
the
run, I
bishop
would
pair.
say the h pawn's a weakness, which I actually end up, he's not long for the world.
I love the bishop pair.
Yeah, the bishop pair is
Okay.
nice.
Now we will win with the bishop pair.
So I just back up.
Watch this. If we go here...
Okay, and here, taking the pawn is the right move, but I thought after the check they might have had something that I wasn't seeing, and you have to go to
Okay.
the corner after the check, because otherwise you're just getting mated if
I'm
you go like
terrified.
king
Gewiss
c8.
Vatas. Gewiss
So,
Vatas.
but actually we're safe after taking the
I'm
pawn.
scared.
We're sufficiently protected,
Very scared of
but
this magnet man. This
I
magnet
did not
man
take the pawn. Instead,
is
I
so
kind of
magnety.
just
He's using his magnetic
went
power
out
to
went into
pull
the end game.
magnet stuff on me.
Yeah, I just went into an end game
That
here.
silly little
Down
magnet man.
an in game down a pawn against the high rated player, which is probably not the best decision,
Silly
but
little magnet man. Alright, let's take him and then take this.
yeah. Bye bye,
Give up
Harry.
a pawn for now.
Yeah, and I think I go bishop e5, because otherwise the bishop's getting trapped.
Yeah, so we needed to move the bishop out, otherwise I was going to be trapping it with g3.
Yeah.
Okay, we're up a pawn.
Okay, so here I was hoping that they'd go into an opposite color bishop endgame, because I felt like I had drawing chances there. Which I realized at this point I was no longer playing for a win, I was just kind of playing not to lose.
Being a bit active.
So I was trying to defend the best I could. Did I go bishop c3 here or
I think
anything?
it's going to be hard to win, to be honest. I'm going to do my very best, but it's going to be a hard one to convert.
Yeah, it's not the simplest to convert, but also my pawns are just so scattered, and my time situation makes it so that flagging him is, well, flagging me in this case, is quite possible. Okay, she pre-moves that, where I don't, like,
bishop versus knight.
I don't know why she thought I'd go into that, because I felt like I'd be, like, guaranteed losing if this was a knight versus bishop in game, because I just don't think my knight is good enough in this position. I could be wrong, but I thought that opposite color bishops was the only practical option. So there, I move the pawn so that my king can have some more mobility.
Maybe g3 next to try and
because the bishop was putting pressure on the b7 pawn. Just trying to explain my thought process. Here, I probably should have just took. I should have just took and went into the knight versus bishop in game now. But also,
don't do it.
It just didn't seem
I don't see what else to do.
That practical. And as you can see, I'm burning clock time. So now I just try to reroute my knight. I think taking was probably the best option, even though it looks terrifying. There is probably some serious drawing chances with the bishops off the board, because also I would have gotten king e5 in the end, and maybe I have enough activity. But instead, I dropped this pawn, but my idea with that is I thought that the double pawns didn't matter so much, and the other pawn would be stopped by my bishop, which is what I was calculating in my head, because I think after f5, I think computer still says that it's better here, but I felt like it would be tricky. Because my pawns are actually doing a very good job at being blockaders.
It's gonna have to be very careful. We're up 2 pawns, so like we should be winning, but it is opposite color bishops, so ooh.
Yeah, they attack there.
He's gonna have to come back to defend. Okay, he does. Let's just push some pawns.
H4 seemed a bit hasty, but I definitely like the idea. I do think that you have to...
I'll do my best. I will do my very, very best.
You definitely have to use your queenside in order to win this, I think. But as you can see, 50 seconds to 2 minutes, it's just not practical. Even in an opposite color bishop in game like this, considering I'm down to... Like, if I was up 2 pawns, I have... Even if this was equal pawns, I know that I could draw this pretty easily with 50 seconds. But considering that I'm down 2 pawns, I have to be far more careful.
I can't take this draw, I'm sorry. I can't do it.
And I don't blame you, I probably wouldn't have took the draw if I was the one up 2 pawns, because I'm down on time, so it just doesn't make sense. Here I was hoping to find some sort of repetition of moves, but they just weren't having it. Because I thought both sides were pretty much just unable to make progress. But in the time pressure, I do end up blundering another pawn, and once I blunder that pawn, it is definitely winning. Pretty soon. Okay, here I go back and check, just deflecting the king away. Which, my pawns on the light squares, while they are weaknesses in some degree, they actually are blockading the king from actually having any good entry. And teaming them up with my bishop, it can be very hard for the for white to make progress here. Yeah, because if they go there, I just go bishop f6, and you have to go back. I don't remember how I played that, but just looking at it now, I definitely see that. Yeah, and here I'm just blocking. I'm blocking the king's entrance on all sides. And, like, even if the pawn gets to the end of the board, my bishop's just going to take it. The problem is, I think that, you know, that pawn is so far advanced that it keeps the white king, not the white king, my king busy. And I'm just losing on time here. I don't even remember if this was objectively won before I blundered the pawns. Yeah, but they're just slowly making progress. And eventually we get overloaded. Overloaded and underpaid. Yeah, and here I went there trying to block the king's entrance, but it was just...
We've got this.
It was just too much in too little time.
We've got this. I'm
And
sorry,
here
Magnet
it's definitely not a draw. It's not a draw.
to your Magnet family.
I mean, they ended up flagging me, but I'm not mad about it, you know. I think I defended pretty well. I think just I got too low on time.
Sorry, Magnet Man. Okay. We win.
Yeah, I went on time.
We win.
I mean, I lost on time. They went on time.
That, but you know,
Yeah, that was a bad game where we both missed chances, and I actually was looking at this earlier. I don't remember everything, but we'll take a quick look. So yeah, just on the board, the missed win. I was actually very surprised that neither one of us saw it. Yeah, I was a bit ahead. Yeah, here. And I'm pretty sure the reason why is here. This check does not work because at the end, just take here. And you are just down a... I think just a full rook. Yeah, just a full rook. Which is something we both overlooked. I actually wanted to look at their idea real quick. What do you do in this case? Let's look at the evaluation. Here, what do you... There's a defense because it says white's better here. Ah, okay, yeah, they weren't paying attention. And neither was I. Bishop d4 cuts off the idea. So I should have taken here like this. But which is interesting to learn those observations. I should have checked for a danger levels move. Here they blunder. It's just a draw now. Yeah. So what I was thinking, and those arrows were from earlier, is I played here, which apparently blunders the game basically. But I thought after here, well, first off, I don't think during the game I saw that my knight was defended. But I thought after this, actually you can go here. I thought that you had to go here because I thought that queen here was mate, but it's actually protecting. So yeah, if you go king c8, which I just didn't see from a distance that my queen was still protecting the c7 square. And I thought I had to go to a8, and let's see. Under the assumption that you have to go to a8, I think this is probably losing. Maybe it's still equal, but... Okay, it's still a draw, actually, after that. So I should have gone here, because I cover there. And then we would have had the line saying, bishop e7. Wait, no. Sorry, bishop e7. I sometimes get my coordinate grids confused. Oh, just takes? What is it? Really? Just takes? King takes d8? What's it saying? Is it claiming that the pawns are better than the piece? G8 check. Interesting. And maybe there's some repetition there. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm being called right now. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Till next time, peace.